Hey! Whoa! Hey! Hit it! Mad Genius of rock and roll!
Hello and welcome to the Daily Atheist Morning Show. I am your host, the amazing Super Chris Mallard. Thank you for joining me. My co-host is here today, Miss Ryan. You know, I'm as excited as you are. She'll be here in just a moment, and we're gonna have some fun. Have you sinned lately? Do you need some goat? Next up in the bark bank, a clergyman with a holy hustle, and maybe a few unholy loopholes.
Just won't do. But wait. You don't have a goat for your burnt offering.
Blessings and belly rubs to you all. I'm Father Flanagan, and today I'm here seeking 50,000.
Insignificant person whose name I don't know, you have sinned. Probably. I shall smite thee.
What do you do? You're all out of goats. She left you for another man.
Fear not, my wayward child. Introducing Father Flanagan's line of goat-scented flesh candles.
No goat? No problem. Just light one of these bad boys and let the sweet, savory scent of burning built flesh rise up to the heavens.
Is that goat?
It's easy, it's fast, and deluxe models even have patented technology that produces a goat screaming sound as the wick burns.
Father Flanagan's line of goat-scented candles. Save a goat, burn a candle.
Father Flanagan's line of goat-scented flesh candles are part of our You Do You Jew interfaith outreach program.
When you sinned and need to atone, light a candle and avoid the stone. When the Lord requires that hundred small, light a candle or you're going to hell.
All right, and we are back. Look at us being back. Here we go. Let me bring Super Ryan. Sorry for the commercial problems, my friends. It was my fault. I would like to blame Ryan if I could. There we go. Problems because I was hitting buttons. Let's see how this works. I've kind of changed things up a little bit. I've moved things around. I've kept the chat, but I've minimized it and made it a little smaller, made me and Ryan bigger because we're pretty and the chat sometimes ain't pretty. So now we're, pretty. So we'll see how this new look goes. And yeah,
I like it.
Yeah, it's kind of smooth. We'll see how it goes. I like it. People like this thing on the screen, so it's got the thing on the screen. Actually, what happened was I saw somebody else's show, and they were using, I think, probably StreamYard or something, and it was doing something similar to that. And I thought, oh, hey, if I can get away with that, and here we are. Let's see. We've got a whole bunch of people in the chat already this morning. We've got Better Than Ember. Ember is here this morning. You know, guys, every show, when I shut down the stream, it automatically rolls over to Ember stream. So, be here for that, and it'll do that today. Ember's always got good stuff. I think she's having Dr. Kip on her show this morning. I did because I was looking.
Yes.
Yeah, Dr. Kip's going to be on her show. Maybe I'll go to her show and see if he'll talk to me. he may still not be talking to me, and I don't blame him. I'm a jerk. But
Just apologize and Dr. Kip's a pretty cool dude. At least from what I know of him, not saying I'm best friends with him, but he seems really reasonable. Seriously.
Oh yeah, I'm sure. He's fine. He may not even really be mad at me. I mean, it wasn't that big a deal. I mean, it was, but it wasn't. Anyway. He just doesn't seem like a terrible grudge-holding kind of guy for something so slight,
Not that I've...
And I was kidding more than anything.
He's so rational. Like, he's such a rational guy, so I just find that hard to believe,
Yeah. Well, I thought it was funny, and then I just kept ribbing him. I'm bad, Chris. Not everybody plays that way. Anyway, good morning, everyone. If you have not voted yet, we've only got three votes for our movie of the week next week. And those suggestions, three suggestions. The first one is Rogue One, a Star Wars movie. The second one is Chud. It's a 1980s horror flick. Cannibalistic human underground dwellers.
But real chud.
Yes.
Is that where chud comes from? Like when we call people chud?
Maybe. Anyway, so there's that. And then robot jocks. Those are the three options that people have suggested so far. If you want, there's a link in the chat, or you just go to thedamnshow.com/link. Chris Mallard there in the chat just posted it. Go over there. There's 2 more suggestions. So if you want to suggest a movie, there's 2 slots available. Go over there, suggest a movie for next week's show. Now, what happened yesterday? So, for our movie of the week, let me tell you what we will be, because I forgot to tell you yesterday or the day before, because I'm a bad person. We've been busy. It's been a busy week.
Yeah, we didn't talk about it at all this week until today. And I realized that this morning when I woke up, like, I don't even have a clue what the movie's going to be.
That's right. Okay, so I've got it for you. The options were Signs, Spaceman, Evolution, Tusk, and Cowboys and Aliens. So Evolution and Cowboys and Aliens tied, and therefore we will go with the first one that was submitted, which was Evolution. So Evolution, the comedy from 2001, we will watch it, and that will be, and I will try to be better about posting our movie of the week, because what I want to do is I want to put a little image or something somewhere on our screen here that shows this is the movie of the week we're going to be reviewing tomorrow. And then, hey, go vote for next week's movie of the week. So,
yeah.
So the movie can happen. So the movie can happen. That's why. So the movie can happen, of course. Or because. I don't know if you even know what we're talking about. It's
inside joke.
Pitch meetings. Yeah. Ryan Johnson, I think his name is, does pitch meetings. I showed him to you once before. You go, oh yeah, that's it. Yeah, it's one of those.
Was it the Jellicle guy?
He may have done Jellicle. Yeah, he probably did Jellicle from the Cats. He did a review of Cats.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. I always, every time now, I mean, I didn't even think about it until that time. Yeah, me and you and Durante, we were all shaking our boobies.
Yeah, we were all getting really Jellicle with it.
That's right. That's right. Good morning, Flockmeister, Ryan George. Did I say Ryan George? Ryan George. Ryan George is his name. He's funny. I'd love to have him on the show. Henrim. Good morning, Henrim. Right-handed Sith was kicking in the door early this morning, not to be confused with Ryan George Extra Plus. I'm not really sure about that one, Ember. You're probably right. Don't confuse them. Yeah, good morning. And Randall Flagg. Good morning, everyone. So, we've got the call-in thing. Oh, son of the bitch. I was going to post the things. Well, I can do it while we're on the show. Good morning, Rainbow Ash.
Good morning.
The movie you were going to submit was weird, right?
Yeah, I wasn't sure what right-handed Sith was saying.
Yes, right-handed Sith actually did submit the Chud. I remember seeing Chud when I was a kid. And it's not a kid movie. By any means is it a kid movie. So I'm just saying.
It's my interest. I must say that.
Yeah. Let me do this.
Happy birthday, Rainbow Ash. Oh,
here we go.
I can't send an emoji. It won't work.
Why can't you send an emoji? Pourquoi? Is it not working?
Sometimes the button goes weird. I just usually push my little button on the keyboard and it pops up and it's not popping up.
Yeah, my frustration boils. I've been trying to fix the damn thing where we can highlight their chat, because I still click and highlight people's chats. It just doesn't show up on the screen. I do it all the time. Still.
Yeah, I do accidentally, and then I'm like, oh, I don't need to do that.
Yeah, I don't know why. It should work. It really should work. I blessed it. I prayed over it. The Jedi mind trick, all that stuff. It should work. Anyway, hey, if you haven't, my friends, give us a like, a share, one of those things. Help us grow the channel. I'm trying to make it more gooder, most goodest. So, I'm going to actually right now, if you don't mind, my friends, I'm going to post to a whole bunch of Facebook groups. So maybe we can get a call or two. I see Faisal is in the chat again this morning. Good morning, Faisal. I'm sure you brought more. I want to throw around the word evidence to show us today. Let me see. Okay. So it's Thor's name is Ryan.
Tis.
Greg Zanich is here. I do that every time. I know it's not Greg. Yeah, I know it's Greg S. I know. Every time I read it, it's just, that's how it comes off in my brain. Good morning, Greg S. Thank you for joining us.
Sandwich.
Say that again?
Sandwich.
Sandwich. Oh, sandwich. Did you hear about the scandal, the penguin scandal? The penguin? I think it was penguin scandal.
No.
I know, right? Nobody's heard about the penguin scandal. I'll tell you about the penguin. What it is was Benedict Cumberbatch was doing a National Geographic style voiceover for some kind of show. And now, of course, he's obviously not watching the show as it's being played. He's just narrating. And he keeps reading the word penguin. And just without thinking, he's reading it penguin. And it just kind of somehow they let it go through. And then he just like, oh, penguin. But so he had this thing, where he said it wrong. I'm not sure exactly.
Funny.
Yeah. Yeah.
He didn't know he was saying it.
I don't really know why he didn't know he was saying it wrong. I just remember seeing it. But yeah. I just presume, let me go here. I'm going to go here. And
Oh my God, wait, but you know what that reminds me of, Chris? I'm so embarrassed because I still do it because it's such a habit. I didn't know that you I think I told you this before, but I didn't know that sword was sword, because I used to say sword like for my whole life until my husband was like, what are you saying? And I said sword. He said, you don't say the W. I was like, you don't say the W? How did I not notice that a lot of people weren't saying the W?
Actually, I think that's exactly backwards. I think if you look in the dictionary, you're supposed to say the W. I always went without saying the W and mocked people who did. And then like 6 months ago, I saw a thing and I was like, really? And I went and looked. So maybe one of us is backwards.
Too.
It could be. It could be. Yeah. I'm from Texas, so I don't know.
It's not like people don't know what the F I was saying, but
right.
I do notice a lot of people say sword instead of sword.
Sounds classy. Oh, classy.
Sword.
What's wrong, my little man? All right, I'm still posting my things here. Who knows? As soon as I'm done, I'll read what Faisal has to say. I realize Faisal is there. Faisal, I appreciate you being far away. And you're taking the time to call us or to at least show up in the chat. Let's see here. What little man? What? All right. Can y'all hear him? Can you hear him? Come here. He's supposed to be the one doing all the computer work. See, and I'm actually, oh, here's Ollie, by the way. Just for you guys out there want to see my computer engineer on the show. There's Ollie. Okay, there.
He just wants some witches and some wobbins.
He does. Yeah, lap dog. It's just, it is what it is. Let's go here. And I'm doing a thing. All right, so I had a notion. I don't know how much Facebook or YouTube actually puts out our stuff, but this morning I don't know if you've seen the thumbnail for today. I made it with me. Okay.
I did.
Okay. Now, tomorrow's thumbnail, or probably Mondays, because tomorrow's Sci-Fi Friday, Tuesdays, I guess it would be. I have created one for you. It's the same one exactly, except for it's got you instead of me. And the reason why I did that was kind of a little thought. I thought, because men seem to be more bold with women. They seem to want to. So I just thought changing they'd be more likely to pop in so they could correct you in your bad thinking because you're a woman.
Yeah.
I just kind of,
mean, when I make content and I'm trying to be spicy, I know that 9 or 8 out of 10, it's going to be a dude who says something.
Yeah.
In the comments.
Well, at least we're reliable. We're dependent.
Right, exactly. I kind of know what to expect in some ways when it comes to
Yes. You can rely on us to be unreliable. You can depend on us to be undependable.
that.
Yeah.
Maybe too good.
I watched this video and this lady's like, some guy's calling her, you're a misogynist. Or no, he said, you're a feminist. And she says, no, I'm a misandrist. And he's like, well, what's that? And she's like, a feminist thinks men and women are equal. A misandrist thinks women are better than men.
I would be happy with just some effing equality.
Yeah. My notion, to be honest, is, well, it's subjective, What are we talking about? Better at what? And it doesn't even matter as far as necessary. Then it could even be split up. You can't necessarily say black people are better at anything than white people, or white people. I mean, as a general rule, just to sling it around like that is just... Anyway, give us a ring. Let's see if I'm almost done. Philip Lister gives us a lot of places to post over on his Facebook page. And so we'll see if it's going to let me do the thing. All right, a last one. Thank you, Philip Lister, if you're watching. Oopsies. Okay, so we posted about, there we go. We've got some web callers coming in. We'll see who we've got. Oh, sorry, little buddy. And Faisal from Saudi Arabia asking question about existence without God. Yeah, I appreciate you, Faisal. I thought I had actually blocked you on the software. Maybe it just didn't work. I mean, we've been down there. You've called us twice in the last week. I appreciate that. But every time you come at us with the weakest of evidence, and I don't know. I'm just not terribly interested. Are you, Miss Ryan? I mean, if you want, I'll put him through. You can talk at him. But otherwise, I'm just gonna, I understand. Right.
Yeah, I don't know what to say about that. I really don't know. He's not going to convince me of anything, certainly, but I guess there will never be a caller who will convince me.
Oh, true enough. True enough.
Right.
Yeah, I was actually curious if there was a part of the question of the day, in fact, is can humans, or here's the question of the day, can humans be truly good without God? And, that's going to be, that's one of those questions that is, everybody's going to have a different answer. They're all going to have a different reason as to why it's either yes or no. And it's just, it is what it is. I'd prefer if we didn't turn this into a show to platform a PDF apologist who straight out says it's not rape. They were married. About a 6-year-old, says Deviant Outcast. Deviant Outcast, I appreciate your assertion. I blocked him yesterday. No, I mean, first of all, I don't intend to necessarily debate Muslims, but based on what you said, we can't debate any Muslim on the channel. Can't. You've eliminated all of Islam in that one statement. That's a little broad, I can't say I disagree with it. I can't say, part of the reason even is because I'm not really the person to be asking about Islam. I don't know terribly much about Islam, and all I do know about Islam is just straight to the point, harsh, just, I'm not the person to go to about Islam. So,
yeah, there's other channels who do take calls about Islam on certain.
There are. I'm going to do that.
And they know it inside now. I know they know their stuff because they're like, what do they call it? They don't call it deconstruction like we do. I think they call it something else, but like they left the religion.
Yeah. Apostasy.
Yeah, I think they just call it apostasy, right? Just like JWs too. I forgot.
Yeah, they even have, in my understanding, in Islam, they even have, it's going to sound weird to me, apostophobia.
Apostophobia,
the fear of apostates, fear of people who've left religion.
Yeah.
They can convince you, they can sway you. Evil is with them.
I mean, honestly, it probably should be called apostophobia.
Yeah. So
there and here, apostate, it's probably appropriate.
Well, it's, the names we give these religions are interesting. Christianity is a mix of the word Christian and insanity. And Islam is the only religion that has a phobia to it. Despite most people there's a lot of people been anti-Semites which is not even a correct term. You know what I mean? Anti-Jewish people, anti-Israelite people, blah, 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 blah. But we don't have the term Jewphobia. You don't have the term Christian phobia, Christphobia. You don't have that term for some reason, despite how bloody they've both been throughout their history. But with Islam, you do have Islamophobia, and that's a whole different conversation. So, don't know why.
Pastafarian.
Yeah.
Cross says, what do you call an apostate? Pastafarian?
You know, Pastafarian is somebody who was a Pastafarian, but no longer is an Apostafarian. So an Pastafarian, an apostapasta. What is somebody who is not really an apostate from there? And then there would be an apostate. I'm just saying.
Like if you had to infiltrate a bunch of apostates, you could be like an imposter.
There you go. You could be an imposter apostate.
You're like
and then if you were a former apostate, oh, well, I guess if you're already an apostate. There's no former apostate. You've gone back. You've regressed back into the faith.
Yeah, you regressed. You decided you didn't need to use your brain anymore. Like, I don't like being told what to do.
Right. Better than Ember, there are a few analogs to deconstruction. One is tafarruq, or to break up the Quran is in unbuild the traditional understanding. Oh, yeah. Well, apostophobia, I can't, again, like other things in here, I really don't know enough about it. I just know it exists. I know the term exists. I have a general idea of its meaning and reason. But, yeah. And if you skip the exam as a man, you're a prostate.
Oh.
Interesting. Pasta is good with cheese. Peter Outlaw is not wrong. Good morning, Peter Outlaw.
Good morning, Peter. Don't make me hungry.
I know.
Some garlic bread. That's a whole other topic.
The evil one made this chicken meat. It has chicken meat of some fashion. Chicken meat, white bean Italian soup sort of thing. We had it with Italian bread, you know. Garlic bread, it was delicious. These love handles don't make themselves. I mean,
gotta work hard on that, you know.
Dedication, yes, indeed. Greg S says, does the spaghetti monster demand or prohibit any action or behavior? That's a good question. I don't know. I mean, he boiled for your sins, and since he boiled for your sins, you don't have to boil, right? So you can sin and not have to boil because he did it for you. Unlike Jesus, who allegedly died for your sins, and yet for some reason you still gotta apologize for sin and do all the things.
Yeah, you still got to do a lot of ritualistic stuff.
Yeah, it's just kind of weird.
Supposed to break the cycle. I thought it was supposed to like make it easier because like he felt like the Jewish people were so tied down by the Torah and so committed to the law, they didn't care about the people anymore. Kind of like the fascists today, you know, like their own version of fascism back in the day. Yeah. So absolutely, yeah, I'm so confused about that.
I was kind of curious about those sorts of things. I was wondering about, fascism has come throughout our history in different forms. We call it fascism, but essentially it's a cult of personality driven to authoritarian power, essentially. And I was wondering where they're willing to destroy the entire nation, country, whatever, to get or keep that power. And this is a running theme that we can see throughout history. And I have actually been wondering if Julius Caesar was one of those. Was Julius Caesar essentially a Trump? A cult of personality. He came along, he was just a senator, I believe, for the longest time, like all the rest of the senators, because it was a republic. And then he got so popular, and then they started to make him king, and they were going to make him king. And that's why they went in and killed him. 30 of his own senators went in and killed him because he was taking over, and it was no longer going to be a republic. It was going to be, he had literally destroyed their democracy, if you will. And they murdered him for it. And isn't
that funny? I knew that story, but I guess I never had it put to me in that way.
Yeah, well,
I hadn't realized it. Yeah, I kind of felt like bad from like, oh damn, poor guy got stabbed. Like no MFer, you was trying to take it was a takeover.
Yeah, well, there were other things that were just so many that were real that were true. And the way it's portrayed, like we always hear the friends, Romans, countrymen, Caesar was a wonderful man. Don't forget, you used to love him. We tried to give him the throne, the crown 3 times. He denied it 3 times. Why do you not love him? And this is the speech that made the people turn and go after Brutus, because they remembered how much they loved Caesar. Okay, from that thing. But otherwise, like I say, whenever the guy Brutus actually spoke before Mark Antony, and he goes, listen, people, you saw what was happening. There were no more, they were getting rid of senators, they were doing this, they were doing that, the Republic was going away. We did it for the Republic, for Rome, not for us, for Rome, which was kind of why they did it. Now, the problem was, by the time they had gotten to that point, Rome had become like there was already a central figure for power, as opposed to spread around. And now they started vying for that power as soon as he was dead. The senators who killed him split up, and then they went to war with each other. And eventually, I think all of them died. I don't know that any of them ever really gained power, but it was never returned to a republic as it was before. So, and of course, I'm an old pothead, so I may not remember exactly right, but that's pretty close. What's going on, man? Oh my goodness! But that's the whole deal. Like you said, I kind of think of you always think of Caesar as like the hero. But what if he wasn't? Based on what
I feel like that's how it was more presented to me, or maybe I don't know, maybe that was me how I took it. I don't know.
But when you look at the accusation of what they were accusing him of, at least in the play, I'm studying the play, and I know it does correlate to a degree, but not really. This is Shakespeare, right? How accurate could his have, been?
Right. Yeah. You wonder.
Yeah. Brutus and Pompey. That's right. Well, actually, Pompey was defeated. Pompey was defeated. Caesar came back from defeating Pompey, and they were going to give him. Am I remembering that right? Shit, I don't remember. No, is that a different play?
Oh no!
Pompey is a different play altogether. Now I'm getting that's Macbeth. Because Macbeth had just returned from defeating Pompey. No, son of a bitch. No, I'm wrong. I am wrong. It is indeed Julius Caesar. Because at one point, that was part of Brutus's speech. He's like, hey, he defeated Pompey, but Pompey is one of us. Pompey was just another senator, another general, and sure, he went and defeated him. Great. He defeated what we had at that point determined to be sort of an enemy, but he was still one of us. And that was part of the argument, was that, hey, he killed Pompey. Pompey, you loved Pompey just a week ago. Anyway, so that sort of thing. Yes.
So wait, Julius Caesar killed Pompey?
Yes, in battle. He just, part of his ascension was destroying Pompey. So,
dang.
Yeah. Yep. Of course, again, there's a lot to it. Between the actual history, between what Shakespeare, I think everybody's more familiar, obviously, with this Julius Caesar from Shakespeare.
Yeah.
So how right was he? Based on the information they had, so I don't know.
Right. And, wait, when was Shakespeare? Is that 1590s? 1490. Oh, 14, damn.
Let me see. I think it was 1590s. I'm old.
And
I don't
sometimes you wonder, did they have access to something that's lost? But probably we'd know that. I'm sure we'd know that if he.
They do find things. Yeah, he's born in 1564, so it's 1590s when the plays were written. Yeah, so somewhere in there, allegedly, between the 1590s and the 1603 or something. I think King Lear was his last play. And it was, my understanding, was like his bow to the people. If you read Lear's final, is it Lear? No, it's not Lear. The Tempest. It's The Tempest is his last play. And the bow at the end is his allegedly Shakespeare's bow to his people. His final, I don't know. King Lear. Awesome. Let's see. Sluggo, his character. Who got the olive oil? Pompey or Pompey? Has anybody out there, real quick, we're going to talk tomorrow. We're going to see a sci-fi show me and Ryan have never seen. It's a comedy called something. Don't tell me I know this.
Evolution.
Evolution. Yes. Thank you, Ryan. Called Evolution. So we're going to be watching that. Have any of you happened to see the new Star Trek Starfleet Academy series out there? Any of you? No?
No, but we've talked about watching it.
Okay. I have feelings about it. Me and the evil one have watched the first 3 episodes. I want to tell you, I want to say, here's what I want to say. I want to say, you know what? It is not for me. Because it's not for me. It's not for old people. It's a movie about Starfleet Academy. They're all teenagers in early 20s. This show is not geared for me or you. It's geared for young people. If you can accept that, you go, man, that's a pretty fucking good Star Trek, man. They're doing a really good job. I like the way they represent everything. But if you go into it expecting old school Star Trek, because you're an old fuck and you want old Star Trek, you're not going to get that. You're going to get new, hip Star Trek because they're kids. It's for kids. It's Starfleet Academy, for goodness sake. And that's the law. You see a lot. The captain is a lanthanite. If you remember Star Trek Strange New Worlds, the little redheaded engineer lady who has a really gravelly voice, she's a lanthanite, lives a really long time. So is the captain of the new ship. She really long lived. She's been long, and she doesn't wear shoes unless she absolutely has to. She sits in she's real tiny. She's like 5'10", 5'11". So she sits in her chair like a cat sitting in a chair. She flops, she does this. And the geezer right wing have just been they fucking hate it. They trash her because all this. I mean, I love it. Every reason why they hate the show, I love the show. It's got this, I want to say, a larger black woman as the first officer. That alone, I'm sure, pissed off the conservatives. But she's a Klingon Jem'Hadar hybrid. Now they're even more pissed off because they think they know everything about Star Trek 900 years in the future. It's just stupid. I think she's fantastic. There's this guy, he's like,
I don't even know anything about it other than I just saw advertised maybe once or twice.
I enjoy it. I hope someday they do make a series for people like us. But that's not what this is. It's really not. And if you can be okay with that, it's a good show. They do have adults in it. There's some adult humor. It's a good show to watch. It's not fun. It's actually, I like it better than Discovery.
Oh, for real?
Yeah. And my problem with Discovery is not the wokeness. My problem with Discovery is the sitting and talking and then all the crying and all this business. They have character exploration. They talk. You learn about their characters in the show, but they don't sit in a room for 15 minutes talking to each other about their feelings. And Discovery was horrific about that. And the crying and the constant crying. Anyway. So.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I mean, I guess we'll find out. We'll find out if it's something that we'll like. And I don't even know at what point we'll get to it because we're still in Deep Space Nine, and I'm not sure if we've decided where we're going next after that. I don't remember.
Okay. Let me answer this question real quick, and then I'll get back to you on that because I want to know. Actually, we'll probably take our break first. But Right-Handed Sith asks, "What did you think of Lower Decks?" You know what? That was one of my earliest come to Jesus, if you will, about the difference between what I am and the generations that Star Trek is for. The first time I saw Lower Decks, I was disgusted. I was like, this is just fucking stupid. It's stupid right from the beginning. And I watched probably the first half of the first season, and I could just barely drag myself through it. It was just ridiculous. Okay, good. Now, let's stop thinking like that. Stop thinking that I am watching Star Trek here and now. Imagine, if you will, my friends, that you are on a starship out in space somewhere, and you sit down to watch TV, and this is what's going to be on. Lower Decks. It's a freaking cartoon, and it's fucking hilarious once you think about it like that. Once you realize that that's how it worked for me. Once I got over myself, and I was like, oh man, this is just like a cartoon for those people in the show. Watch it. That's how I feel, and I love it ever since then. I haven't even seen it all yet. It's still there for me to watch. Yeah. But I really did love it.
You said we'd also try to watch that one as well at some point.
Yeah. And again, I kind of, like I said, I admit I went into it with wrong thinking,
Yeah.
And that happens every time.
I guess.
Yeah. Every time Star Trek comes out. Now the original series, I don't think they had this problem. The original series did have problems because it was coming out in 69, late 60s. It had sort of a message that not everybody agreed with, but it wasn't that big a deal. The next generation, you can go back and look. They had articles in the Newsweek magazine. I think it was Newsweek magazine, the little magazine. No, Reader's Digest.
Reader's Digest is small.
TV Guide. The TV
Guide is also.
Yeah, I think it was TV Guide. Anyway, it was one of those, and you could see how people were just blowing up. They did a black engineer or whatever problem they had. They didn't like Geordie's eye things. They're like, this is the far future. They got eye things. You know, you can't. They just had all kinds of problems. A bald captain. Oh my God, a bald captain. You know, they just complained about everything. Same thing with Deep Space Nine. What were the cries about Deep Space Nine? Oh, it's on a starbase. Oh, it's got a black captain. It's got God. Right. Of course, if you watch the show, you'll realize
There's
the God.
about God.
There is about gods, but as you can see, they kind of science them out. They're not really gods. They're just aliens. You know, and I mean, really, they're just for Bajor. I mean, gods would be everywhere gods. They have no interest in anybody but Bajor. Because anyway, you'll find out. Anyway, it's good shit. But you got to get past all that initial complaints. It came out with Enterprise. I'm sure there was problems with Enterprise whenever it came out. The problems I remember about it was that you could see T'Pol's nipples. Not like you couldn't see them, but in the first episode, they were in that tank and she was in the really small shirt and you could see her nipples through the shirt. And that's a big faux pas for Star Trek. Has been for forever. And that alone was a big, oh my God. Oh, I'm out. I was like, damn, did you see those? Those is all right. They do it every time. Whenever the Discovery came out, there was a whole bunch of people that went up about Discovery. A lot of it had to do with the wokeism, about how whatever reasons they didn't like it. We already talked about why I didn't like it, but you had to get through the whole right-wing nonsense. The whole I can't even believe a lot of them are even real Trekkies. They just hate. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't.
You know?
They weren't really getting it.
Yeah.
They must not have really been getting it. Like, I mean, I kind of feel like people watch, what's that blue movie that people, where everybody's blue and the Americans or whatever come and try to take their world. Oh, anyway.
Yeah. I'm not sure. Avatar.
I kind of feel like it's very similar. Yeah, like Avatar. Like, don't you realize, like, we do that same thing still today? Like, we're the bad guys. I'm like, oh.
Yeah.
But they don't get it.
Yeah. Zorkraz says, I like the wokeism in Discovery, wasn't so fond of the spinning star whip. The star, I didn't really.
That's cool.
I thought, I love the wokeism, as we've mentioned. I enjoy I love the fact that the first officer is a larger, and I don't mean to bring that up like it's a big thing for us, because it's not, but for the right wing. I like anything that's going to throw the right wing and piss them off. And the first officer, she's a larger woman of color, and she's gay. And the first officer is a woman, the captain's a woman, the chief engineer is a woman who is also gay, who is in a relationship with the first officer. And I could just see the right wing, just their heads, it was just...
I wonder if any of them watched it, if they were okay with watching.
Well, I'm actually in some of the Facebook groups, and that's kind of how I know about the complaints. Because in the Facebook groups, they complain.
Posting and chatting about it.
Let's take a quick break. And whenever we come back, we're going to do the thing. I think we're going to do Conspirwin. We'll be back in just a minute, guys.
Are you feeling the world is leaving you behind? Do you look at all the pseudoscience, rumors, and wild speculation on the internet and wonder, why can't I do that? Well, friend, you can. We can help you. We are Conspirwin. Conspirwin has a long history of helping anyone with a hidden truth. We will get your message out. The conspiracy theories you see today all started out with one person's vision. The moon landing hoax was launched by a NASA engineer whose manager didn't okay his vacation request. Conspirwin was there to help out. Christianity started out because one little girl named Mary got pregnant out of wedlock, and Conspirwin saved the day. Now, the virgin birth is accepted Catholic doctrine. You may be thinking, but my idea of the center of the earth being made of ice is far-fetched. No one's going to believe that. In a world where people believe windmills cause cancer, we say no dream is too big. Conspirowin will take your fledgling idea and feed it to our YouTube, Twitter, and TikTok operatives. And these savvy social media professionals will raise doubts with the prevailing scientific consensus. They will say no one has ever seen the planet's core except Jesus. And science is wrong all the time. That's why science has theories and not Jesus. Within 30 days, we guarantee you CNN will run a story on how your conspiracy theory isn't true. We will also give you 100% assurance Fox News will say your crazy idea about the Earth's core being an icy ball is true. Follow your heart. Listen to the voices no one else can hear. Team up with Conspirowin.
And here we are. Let me do this real quick. I'm testing my new system. Let me see here. Okay, look, it looks good. I got just me up there. I even have it now where I can put just Ryan. I'm going to put Ryan up there.
Good morning. Oh, wait. Okay, I can't hear you when I'm up here, I guess. Or... Now I can't still get.
I'm muted. I was muted. I accidentally hit it with the mute button. Yeah, so let me see if it was working there. Can you hear me now? Ha 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 ha. Okay, good.
Yep,
good.
I still hear you now.
So that's awesome. So now we've got the things, and I forgot to test the commercial thing. We said we were going to test that thing. I'll tell you in a minute. Yeah, we'll do that in a minute. Yeah, we'll do that in a minute. Okay, cool. So then when we do get a caller, though, let me put it back to the studio. When we do get a caller, Miss Ryan, I have us a new things up there, and I can even change it from if they're a Christian caller to a Muslim or whatever they happen to be. See? New fancy stuff.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Very cool.
I know, pretty nerdy. I'm trying to do stuff for the show.
Upgrade.
I know, upgrades. Let's just awesome sauce. Very awesome. Let me see. We got somebody in the chat. I saw Dwa. Hello, Dwa. How are you doing? I'm not sure I'm saying your name right. Oh, yeah, Dwa. Maybe Dwa. Native Atheist. Why do you care? Okay, let me see what happens here. I must have missed stuff. You're engaged. Godless Granny is here.
Good morning, Kelly.
Everybody straighten up, people. Godless Granny. Good morning, Godless Granny. Thank you for joining us, Miss Kelly. I hope you're having a great time. I saw that you're going to be, I think, on a stream with the other Kelly and the other Kelly. That's going to be a good stream, I'm sure.
We're on yesterday. I don't know. They might have another one. I can't remember.
John, you're a bad person and you're going to hell. You're just going to go to hell, John, and this is why you're going to hell.
John. Oh, Johnny.
Excuse me. You're a bad person, John. That's hilarious.
We love you, John.
I don't even know what Dwa had to say when Dwa came in. What their initial point was. Let me just find out if I can roll up far enough.
I haven't even seen the person yet.
Yeah, let me see here.
I just see a ton of replies to them.
I know. Yeah, I don't see any comments at this point anymore. Carolina Infante. Good morning. Says Avatar. It was Avatar. That's indeed right. It was Avatar. Dawad. Oh man, yeah. See, Native Atheist does the same thing I do. Dawa, is it true Muhammad married a 6-year-old girl? That's what I do. As soon as I engage with them, I'm hardly ever past the hello, I'm an atheist. Hello, you're a Muslim. And then I'm like, let's talk about Muhammad's horrific actions. And there's got to be a better way, I feel, probably, to deal with these people. You know?
I mean, I guess it comes down to what your goal is ultimately, and then go from and build from there.
That's what I was thinking.
I mean, my goal generally with Christians is I would hope that I could maybe rationalize with them and they could get some thinking going and maybe start to question. But, then there's times where they change the dynamic and all I want to do is like dunk on them.
Yeah.
So there's that.
Yeah, I know. It's so hard. So for those of you who are in the chat curious, oftentimes it's claimed, I believed it was 6 when they were married, 9 when they consummated. Oftentimes you will have the people, the Muslims in the chat, not all of them. We've seen it. I have seen it here where they claim, well, that was a different time, and 9 back then was equivalent to about 15 or 16 today. That's not really how that works. I don't think that. As a matter of fact, it's opposite. I think girls today at 9 years old are healthier and more biologically advanced than girls back then were, because they didn't have the nutrition and the hormones and all the things that we have today. So this notion that they were somehow stronger. Now, all of this being said, okay, let's say she was 15. Why would Muhammad, 56 at the time, why would he want a young girl for a wife of any variety, whether she's 9 or whether she's 6 or whether she's, that's a choice. He's the prophet of Muhammad. This is late in the thing. It's not a first time, So I'm just saying, this is one of those that's very difficult, I feel, for them to defend. And I just think there's probably somebody better.
Yeah. Something I learned recently too, I want to read more about it because it's literally just found this out, I think within this past week. I just haven't had the time to look it up. But according to this video that I watched, let me just say it that way, that, we're born with our eggs, but it's men whose sperm is the one who causes issues with pregnancy. Like they used to say, oh, women over a certain age, you could have issues with the baby. Well, turns out from this video that it's actually the older sperm that gets dilapidated and which causes issues in the pregnancy. And generally speaking, it's the issues in the sperm that causes issues where like the baby is aborted and such.
It's interesting. I've always heard that
so older women can have babies and it's not as bad as they said it was.
Yeah. Well, again, it probably depend on who inseminated her and whether it was old junkie sperm.
That's right. Exactly what I'm saying. That if an older woman, as such as myself, married a younger man like I do with my husband, it wouldn't have been so bad if we decided to have kids now.
Yeah.
But I don't. And no, I don't.
Through that. To the hell no.
Oh hell no! I'd be falling down some stairs.
Yeah. Or pushing someone down.
Honey, I accidentally tripped down the stairs like 20 times. I'm sorry, that's not nice to say.
Yeah, Lil of all trades agreed. I do agree. But here's the deal. And again, this is kind of my thinking. I don't feel like I'm the right person for this, for the mission of trying to move atheists away. Is if you're going to stop and that's it. It's impossible to defend. You're a Muslim. You defend Muhammad and he was a pedophile. And that's the end of the conversation. Then there's never going to be a conversation. That's one of the central tenets of their entire religion. So I don't really know how to deal with that because I'm kind of feeling the same way. I mean, somebody in the chat I've said, dude, if we're going to platform somebody who supports a pedo, blah, blah, blah. But again, by that perspective, you can't have a Muslim at all ever on the show if that's how you feel. Because this central, I don't know how to deal with that myself. No. I need to seek guidance.
Yeah, which is probably why I don't, because that is a conundrum for me. That's a little bit out my league.
Yeah.
If I want to handle it in a more diplomatic way, I suppose. Like try to find another way to reach. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know, bro.
Yeah. I don't know. One of the deals, though, in at least our case, is Christianity is my bag. That's where I come from. It's what I know, and science.
It's what I do.
Yeah. And I know my science. And so when they come in here and they try to coagulate the two of those, notice how I use that word, coagulate. That's not a good word. Anyway, it doesn't work. They just, but it's not, but Islam, I don't really know. I just look it up here on the thing and ask questions. I really don't know. But whenever the individual yesterday made the claim that this is so easy to remember that millions of people remember it all and they know it, every word of it, I'm like, so you don't know every word of it though, right? And he didn't. He couldn't give us a single scripture out of this thing. And I'm like, dude, really? Be better.
Right. You don't know it as well as you're claiming to while you're saying, well, there's other people who know it by heart.
Yeah. Oh,
okay,
I'm going to try.
You don't.
Let's see if we can do this. I can do this. Hooked on Phonics worked for me. And Nuidian, then some. No, and then some. And Nui, and then some. I think I got it close. I think I'm close. Good morning, Inui. Yeah. Inui says, everyone say hi to Inui. No, it's Chris says that. Rock hard for Doug, says Inui. Good morning, rock hard for Doug people. Thank you very much for showing up this morning. The Quran is easy to remember, therefore God. I know, right? And I don't really think it is easy to remember.
That was wild to me.
That was wild.
It's not easy to remember because it was written in a specific language, and it should be written and interpreted in that language. So if you don't speak that language, then not very easy.
Yep. And my understanding is that they have an issue with you're supposed to read it in the original Arabic, and it's just not as valid if you don't. Something about that. I don't know. But to those people who just memorize it, they don't know what it really means. They have no idea what it means. They're just told, like this guy.
Just like we are when it comes to Hebrew.
Hashtag truth. Yeah. Yep.
And Greek. I mean, all of it's translated. And there's a lot of words that have been misconstrued. So,
it's funny you mentioned the Greek. We're studying Julius Caesar, and at the beginning of the play, I think his name, somebody comes up to Cassius, and he's like, they were actually had a great speech. Julius Caesar had a speech, and this other guy came up, and this other guy even came up, and he spoke in Greek. And he's like, really? What did he say? And the guy says, I don't know. It was Greek to me. And that's where we get that from. That's where we get it from.
Oh, it was Greek to me.
Yeah, because that's literally what he says, because it was.
Interesting.
Long live Kaiju.
Yeah.
Good morning.
I think Koine Greek. Koine Greek. I think there's some. Is there Aramaic? No, Aramaic I think is in the Hebrew. But
Dawa says, Chris, if they were both happy, who are you to object against it? Their parents were happy, and even his enemies didn't object against it, so no one cares about your worthless opinion. Well, they do actually. A whole bunch of people care about my worthless opinion. And was she happy? How do you know she was happy? I mean, and she was a little girl. She was a tiny, tiny little girl. There's no way she could say no. And he was a prophet of God. You have been chosen by the prophet of your God. There's no way you're going to say no. It's ridiculous. And just to make that as some kind of excuse because the parents said okay. So is that okay? Is that legal in the United States? Or even where you're from, why is it legal? So if they're 7 years old and the man and the woman, the girl think it's okay and the parents think it's okay to do that, is that okay? I'm curious, Dewa. The more you say things like that, the less I respect your religion to be faithful, to be true. What did you say, Brian?
Why can't you just accept that it was not good? Why is it so hard to, are you not allowed to say that Muhammad did something that was less than virtuous? Is that problematic? And if it's problematic, that in and of itself should be a problem for you.
Should be.
Just saying.
Yeah.
You should be able to question authority, ask questions.
That's right. Well, you remember the one caller, was it Faisal? He was asking you questions, and then he's like, well, that response is based by fear. But I mean, I responded emotional response. And I was like, well, all of Islam is they're afraid. They're either angry or afraid. They're going to get killed. They're going to do this. They're going to do that. It looks like we actually have two callers coming in at the same time right now. I think we got two. So whatever, it looks like somebody from, let's see what we got here. I am going to answer this first one. It says Bonnie. Bonnie would like to talk. Caller name, we'll see. You know how this when they speak into it, the computer sometimes gets it. Let's see what Bonnie has to say. Oh, Left-Handed Jedi has become a member. Thank you, Left-Handed Jedi, for becoming a channel member, re-upping your stuff. Let me see if we can hear Bonnie. Are you there?
Hi. Can you hear me?
I hear you.
I can hear you.
Oh, okay.
Hello, Bonnie. How are you doing today?
Good. How are you?
So far, so good. We'll know more in just a minute.
Yeah, I'm calling from Wisconsin. It's cold here.
Yeah.
Ryan was a JW?
Mm-hmm.
A JW?
Yes.
Okay, so was I for 50 years.
Oh.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm so curious what woke you up from it.
Well, thank you so much for calling, Bonnie. Sounds like you are deconstructing yourself, woke up. I'm very, very happy to hear that. So for me, one thing that really stuck with me when I was younger is they would give talks about how the Jehovah's Witnesses would not allow bad things to happen in their kingdom halls, almost as if that there was this air of protection, like angels were watching out for us and just bad things couldn't go down in there. And they would even use that folklore of one time somebody brought a Smurf into the kingdom hall and the Smurf got up and ran out. I don't know if you ever heard that one, but that's crazy. So they always put that idea out there. So one time, one of the gentlemen the brothers was speaking about an alleged abuse of children and how that would never be allowed. Jehovah would not let that happen in his kingdom hall, kind of like sacred space and such. And then, here I come 40 years later, and I start to find out that they've allegedly, well, not allegedly, at the time I thought allegedly, but actual evidence and documentation and lawsuits that they've been covering child abuse from like inception. And it blew my mind. Like, it really, really pissed me off. And once I began to research about them, and my daughter just so happened this all kind of happened at the same time, but my daughter had said to me, "Hey mom, I watched the show. They said the JWs were kind of culty. I think you should look into it." And everything started to click. Like, all the cracks really just kind of let the dam break. And it was like the last straw that broke the camel's back. And once I went down that rabbit hole, there was never any going back. I just couldn't. So that, long story short, was my kind of like wake up call.
Yeah. I was in it I did not grow up as a witness. I became a witness at 18. I moved in with my family that were witnesses, my cousins. And I was in from 18 to 68, so I've been out for 10 years. But yeah, when they had that thing in Australia, what woke me up was studying the Bible. I studied it, and my goodness, I had a channel, but I had 4,000 subscribers, but my daughter discovered it, and I'm not disfellowshipped. And she just went to pieces when she discovered she thought I was going to get disfellowshipped. So I'm not disfellowshipped. But anyway, so I took it down. But I could easily make a video in fact, I had a couple thousand videos where just talking about the Bible, just opening up the Bible and discovering so many things about the Bible that just, can I give you a for instance, just one for instance? If I was called before the elders, there's absolutely no way they could disfellowship me because of my channel, because all I did was went to Watchtower literature and the Bible. That's all I did. And so they couldn't disfellowship me over it. But just one for instance, when you're reading Judges, remember that account where that guy was traveling with his wife or whatever? Yes. And this guy,
his concubine or something of that nature.
Yes, the concubine. And he cut up for one thing, he fed her to the rapists outside, just like Lot did with his daughters. the same thing. And then he cut up her body into 12 pieces and sent one piece to all of the tribes of Israel. Okay, everybody knows that as a witness. We all knew that story because they went over and over it again. But if you continue reading till the end of Judges, you see that Phineas is in there, and they want to kill everybody that's in the tribe of Benjamin because they were Benjaminites that raped this man's concubine. So they end up killing every single person in the tribe of Benjamin except 600 men that escaped. And so then they go and they find another tribe and they kill all of those people because they did not fight in the battle to kill all the Benjaminites. And so then Phineas is in there. Phineas was a grandson of Aaron back with Moses. Phineas is the grandson of Aaron, which is Moses' brother. So when you look that up in Watchtower literature, they go, well, that account was out of order. It happened sometime after Joshua entered the Promised Land. It's just out of order, that's all. Which is like this account at the end of Judges is 400 years after Joshua. 400 years. So when you look it up, it's like, oh, that's just out of order. That's what Watchtower says in their literature. That's just one example. I mean, there's so many examples like that in the Bible that there's no way I would ever, as a witness, I would have had to tell my kids that they would have to die if they needed a blood transfusion. But if anybody actually studies the Bible, studies it like I did, there's no way you would die for it. You just wouldn't die for it. Yeah. And then I got to say another thing. If you ever try to call Tovia Singer's show, when he's on, they absolutely will not ever let you talk about the Hebrew scriptures. It's out of order. They'll only let you talk about the New Testament.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I mean, there's so many things.
Yes, I've noticed that. I used to follow Tovia Singer, and then I kind of realized what his whole deal was, and then so I mean, a lot of good information I think when it comes to the New Testament, honestly, but just when it comes to the Hebrew scriptures, if you don't want to touch that with a 10-foot pole, that says a lot because there's a lot in there that we can talk about, and Judges is one of them. And like she said, they'll take one little piece, and why would you even want to platform that story in the first place? But they won't read the whole disgusting thing. But as she said, she used Watchtower's information. So technically speaking, because she took that from the Watchtower, they should not be able to touch her and do anything.
Yeah. I know. I want to mention the thing real quick about that story about the Benjamites. That's actually, I believe, if you go look, the story is an opposite. It's the same story as Lot, except for told from the story of the angels. In Lot, there's two angels who come through and they bring a woman with them, and then blah blah. Or Lot has two daughters. In this story, the two travelers come. They bring a young woman with them. The old man, Lot, has a daughter. Right, so you still get two at the end. It varies wildly at the end, obviously. He tries to give the daughters. They say no. Then the angels blind the men, and they escape. With the story of the Levite forces his girl out there, concubine out there, shuts the door. She's raped to death. He wakes up the next day, opens the door, kicks her, and says, "Come on, let's go." And she doesn't go. So then he does, like she said, takes the body, cuts it up into 12 pieces, sends it all over the tribes, and then all the tribes of Judah come to slay the Benjamites, as described. And then they attack the city, and they get their asses kicked. And they attack their city, and they get their asses kicked. And then they go up to the mountain where God is, and God is like, "Go attack the city." Okay, we'll do that. And then like 3 or 4 times, they get their asses kicked every time. And finally, they stop going up to the mountain and asking God. They just go up there, act like they're going to attack, and then run away. And then when the Benjamites come out to kick their ass, they have their bigger force go in from behind. And that's how they finally win the battle. 100,000 plus people dead because of that one girl.
Yeah, can I add something to that?
Please.
And then this is the thing. The rest of the Israelites are so mad because of their brothers are wiped out, except for the 600. They're so angry. And who are they angry at? They're angry at Jehovah, because Jehovah is the one that told them to do it.
He did.
They're
He
mad
did.
at Jehovah. That's in there.
Yeah, I know. It's crazy. Isn't it crazy? I'll tell you what, we've got another caller on the line, Mr. Derek. I appreciate you very much, Miss Bonnie. Would you mind calling us back in the future and giving us kind of an update on how things are going for you and your deconstruction?
Sure, thanks. Bye.
We're wonderful. Thank you very much. I tell you what we're going to do is, if we don't mind, before we get to Derek is a Scientologist. Derek's been a real peach sitting back there waiting for us. He's been disconnected, all this business. We're going to hear from him in just a minute, but we're going to test a new system, a new thing real quick, and we're going to run a commercial, and then we'll be back. As soon as we're done with the commercial, we'll be back. If you'll go ahead and test that for me.
Sure. Hold on.
We're testing something here. Let's see what happens.
I typed it right.
Next up in the bark bank, a clergyman with a holy hustle and maybe a few unholy loopholes.
Hi, Barks. Blessings and belly rubs to you all. I'm Father Flanagan, and today I'm here seeking $50,000 for 3% of my soul-saving startup, Holy Halos, the world's first, soon-to-be, church-approved condoms. Following the ways of the Lord can be hard and often require sacrifices of the flesh. Well, fear not, my wayward child. Introducing Father Flanagan's line of Holy Halo condoms.
Hold on, Father. The church very much doesn't like condoms. How do you expect to sell these?
Well, you're right, but these aren't just any condoms. No, my furry financiers, these are permeable. But every single halo has been dipped in holy water, a divine divider between you and sin. You can finally frolic freely and still keep that sweet spot in heaven. Permeable, but dipped in holy water to keep the sin out, but let the babies in.
Let you get your stick wet without getting your stick stuck.
If you know what I mean.
Oh my! Very embarrassing every time.
So basically they don't work as condoms, but they let you get away with having sex without going to hell?
Exactly. The church gets to keep making babies, but you don't have to keep going to confession. Think of it. No more guilt, no more awkward "I'm saving myself for marriage" speeches. With Holy Halos, you can take those pray hands and turn them into lay hands.
Didn't I read that holy water is full of bacteria like E. coli? Won't this be harmful to women's health?
The words are English, but I don't understand the question.
How are you addressing the issue holy water presents for women's health?
Again, I'm not understanding.
She does that. Well, we don't get it either.
Is that mesh from a window screen?
Ah, that's a keen eye you have there, young lass. Yes. Another fine selling point, rough on the outside to increase her shame, as it should be, but soft and smooth on the inside, internally lubed and ribbed for his pleasure. We even have custom scents.
Scents? Now you have my attention. What flavors we talking? Don't pitch me that vanilla missionary nonsense, Padre.
Well, we do have virgin vanilla, but we also have miracle mint and a cooing camel, and my personal favorite, sweat of the Savior.
And the Vatican, they've blessed this endeavor?
Well, not exactly. I'm still waiting on the papal decree one way or the other.
I love it, but you're asking 50 grand for only 3%. That's rough, Father, real rough.
Not running with the big dogs on this one. I'm gonna stay on the porch.
Me too. Good luck, Father. 15%.
Ouch, 15%, that's highway robbery even for the church.
Come on, Father. We're dogs. We know a bone when we see one. 10%, and we'll even bless your branding.
Look, meet me in the middle, 7%, and I'll baptize all your puppies.
7% works for me. Father Flanagan, it looks like
Wait a second. Our producers say we have a special call-in bidder. Let's get him up on the screen. Folks, we have the guardian of the sacred fire hydrant himself.
Oh no.
Defender of the holy tennis ball and eater of the golden kibble, Pup Oliver Poops a Lot the Fifth.
Flanagan!
Yes, your portrait.
50,000 at 20%.
20%?
And you get to keep calling yourself a father.
Sold to the pup in the very fine hat.
I knew you'd see it my way.
You're very wise, your hiney. Would there be anything else?
He may leave.
Father Flanagan's line of holy halos, ultra thin, spiritually thick. Available in 3 sizes: conservative, medium, and liberal. Ruh-roh. And we are back. Thank you all for joining us. I'm going to pull up Derek here on the call. Let's see if I can get Derek up on the screen. Derek, can you hear us?
Hello. Yes.
Hello. All right. Let me get you pulled up here real quick to make sure everybody can hear you. Can you hear him, Ryan?
Yes.
Excellent. You know, Derek, good morning. Thank you for your patience. I don't know a lot about Scientology. What would you like to discuss?
I guess the big thing when I talk with a lot of people who are atheists, I think the biggest thing they talk about with their contention with religion in general would be that they have faith in something that they don't have evidence for. Would you say that's probably a pretty apt summary of the big contention between atheists and those who are religious?
You could maybe phrase it that way. I think it's kind of backwards. I think the people who are religious have a contention with atheists. Atheists just don't believe you're God. And yes, but yeah, I think there's a contention, and it's because of that. But yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So like my big contention that I guess I shouldn't say contention, but the thing that I find in Scientology that I think is particularly unique to it is a more of an applied philosophy than a religious movement in general, right? And this comes from the fact, L. Ron Hubbard himself said, what is true is what is true for you. It's an applied philosophy. It's something that you apply to your life. It's not necessarily something that you have to hold a particular view of God on. There are many people who have very different views of God, or a lack of belief in a central God figure in general within Scientology. So I guess that's why I guess Scientology stands out to me in a way that other religious creeds did not. So I guess my thing, the thing I'm putting forward is that it's a bit different in that sense, because it has more to do with like self-help and the science of the mind and stuff like that.
If I may, I'm gonna let Ryan visit with you real quick, but I just want to mention I actually had an attraction to Scientology when I was younger. I was a Christian and I saw some Scientology and I had attraction to it. I'll talk to you about that in a minute. Ryan, what are your thoughts about what he said in Scientology?
So I don't know a ton about Scientology. I know some basics about it. And one of my biggest, I'll say contentions, since we're using that word today, is with their, I think it's called disconnection policy, or something of that nature. But Jehovah's Witness language, they would call it disfellowshipping. So anybody who leaves the religion are supposed to be ignored, ostracized. Sometimes they can even be called a suppressive person, speaking your language, or an apostate. So right. I have a really big problem with ostracizing people for questioning things, and with those questions not getting answers, because that's usually the problem, is there's something they don't want to answer. And I take a lot of issue with that.
Would you mind if I responded to that?
Sure. Yeah. Do you know about that policy? Have you ever had to do it yourself?
I'm aware of the policy of itself, but I will say I think it's a little more nuanced than potentially some of the more sensationalist understandings of it, and end up presenting it as. Disconnection is not something that you would do to somebody who just leaves the church. I could say, for example, I have family members who were members of the church who have since left, who I am still very much able to talk to and have relations with. I mean, not like relations, but you know what I mean. Like, I have a good, healthy foundation with the rest of my family, even if they are not members of the church specifically. That's not what causes quote unquote disconnection. Disconnection is a personal policy advocated for by L. Ron Hubbard that has to do more with if somebody is antagonistic to you, your beliefs, and also the church themselves, then it's when you would want to disconnect from an individual. And that's a bit different than just them leaving the church, right? That is somebody who is outwardly antagonistic to being a person of faith within the church. A good example of this is, there have been many documented cases of people harassing Scientology members, both outside of their churches as well as physically attacking the locations. Obviously, these people would, but not just them. Just people who make it their life's missions to be hostile to Scientologists. And I understand that there are differences between those who have criticisms of the church, not all of which are disconnected. It really comes down to the more hostile, critical elements that have made their way outside of the church. But it's not something that the church, A, forces upon anyone, but also B, it's something that you would do yourself. It's something that any Scientologist who reads the Introduction to Scientology Ethics would find as something that you would apply to your own personal philosophy. But again, this is the applied philosophy side of it, not just with disconnection, but that's one element of how you would apply the philosophy in general. It's an ethics system. It has many things to do with how you live your life.
But what you said was so broad that anybody who leaves Scientology or even questions it could be considered offensive to you and suddenly be kicked out of your... and then ostracized. I want to mention the reason why, if you don't mind, let me have a go at it. The reason why I was attracted to Scientology because I was for a while looking for a religion that embraced science. That is not Scientology.
But they don't.
Scientology very much does not. The closest thing you could say Scientology and science have in common would be psychology. And Scientologists are absolutely against psychology. They have their own version of psychology. You just mentioned it. What is true for you is true for you. It's just, to me, woo of the mind. You just make it up as you go along. Really? It doesn't sound that way. So what's true for you is not true for everybody. And that's just... Mm-hmm. And now I've never heard of people persecuting Scientologists. Yeah. What I have heard of, though, is people who investigate Scientology for the cult it is being harassed and persecuted and attacked by members of the church, hired working members of the church. And you can go online and find videos of that.
Yeah.
Also, now I want to mention also that. Well, let me just gallop you for a minute because there's kind of a lot. Another thing would be that Scientology is also like a pay-as-you-go kind of situation, a pay-to-play, right? You have to pay for all this stuff. You got to pay for this tapes and this tapes that helps you get rid of, all these lessons and affirmations and all these videos. And to get up to the levels, you got to, how much did Tom Cruise pay to get up there? All right, so that's another one. And then they also have their own internal abusive practices that they have. They're actually outlawed in in Europe, aren't they?
They are not. We're actually in an era of Scientology where it's not outlawed in almost any country around the world. The closest you get to it being outlawed is Germany right now, which has some belief. Them and like Russia. I think Russia has also officially banned the Church of Scientology.
Why would they do that?
But Russia bans almost any religion outside of their own.
Oh yeah, I get that. I get that.
They ban the J-Dubs too.
They're a bit particular in their beliefs, but most countries don't. And I was actually, I think this is a great example.
Right.
I want to bring up, you did say at one point that you don't know of any examples of Scientologists being persecuted, right? And I think, I completely understand why you wouldn't understand, you wouldn't see that, because it's not something the media covers as much as, the cases against it. But let me just give you an example. There was a man who, outside of the LA Center, for example, went with a samurai sword and went and tried to kill multiple members who were shot dead by the LAPD because
Why would he do that?
He was attacking multiple Scientologists. I mean, he was mentally ill. It's LA. I don't know if you've ever,
Was he a former Scientologist?
I don't think that he was in particular. I don't know the yeah, but
okay. So what? No, wait a second. Now, see, if you're talking about another way, your one example you've given so far is a random person who was possibly psychotic who had apparently, according to you, no relationship to the church.
Yes.
So why would he be going after the church?
That's why I was going to say,
Go ahead.
on a bigger, broader point that I was going to make is this is not just a isolated incident like something like that. Because you're right. You could just say, well, that was an isolated incident that doesn't really show anything indicative of people persecuting the church, right? I think a better example of this would be what happened in Australia. The Australian government openly persecuted against Scientologists to the point that they said that Scientologists weren't allowed to be employed. And then the Supreme Court had to rule that Scientologists have every right to believe in the religion as other people do. This is just one example of and they even said it was a blatant, like it was one of the darkest periods in Australia's history. So there are examples of where you have even world governments going after Scientologists.
That's right.
So that's the only point that I wanted to make.
There's a reason, though, because it's a huge scam. It really is. It's a huge scam on the people. There's a reason why it's not outlawed in Germany, but they won't allow it to be considered an actual religion. And that's going on kind of a lot of places because it really is a scam. We know the history of your religion. Do you know the history, Euler? Do you know anything about L. Ron Hubbard and the science fiction he used to write? Do you know about L. Ron Hubbard saying, why write science fiction whenever you can create a religion and become a millionaire? Why write sci-fi?
Can I talk about that?
Briefly.
Can I just, So the thing I wanted to mention there, for example, is every Scientologist on the planet knows that L. Ron Hubbard did science fiction before that. In fact, it's something that we openly understand and praise about him. You can go to the L. Ron Hubbard exhibit in.
I worship Gene Roddenberry too. I get that too. I worship Gene Roddenberry. I get that part.
Wait,
it's not a religion.
I want to mention is you also said, I want to give you an example, okay, of how sometimes you hear something about Scientology that isn't necessarily accurate. The quote that you are quoting that is said to have come from L. Ron Hubbard, there is no person who is, I'm not talking Scientologist, there is no historian that is associated with that time period when it comes to the golden age of science fiction writers who believes that L. Ron Hubbard made that quote. In fact, it comes from another person who was in what was known the trapdoor spiders, who existed in L. Ron Hubbard's close circle. It was actually George Orwell who was said to have wrote that in a letter, and
does it matter?
Construed to be his. I think it does matter. When people say that this is a quote that L. Ron Hubbard says, and it would be a good quote if it actually came from him.
I actually still believe it does come from him, and I want to look up that before I believe you, because you're programmed by your 100%. Church. First of all, but the deal is that
I am not asking this man anything that I'm saying. Based on
this man was he was known for being a liar, a cheat. You should go look him up. And also, what is the tenet? He wrote about Xenu. What is Xenu? This god who captured all the bad aliens and strapped them to a volcano and detonated it.
I would prefer not to talk about that.
Why?
I would prefer not to talk about that.
Why not? Come on, man.
There are, within our belief system, we are a belief system that is a bit different. And this was the same thing I was going to bring up when it comes to the money-based system within Scientology, because I do think it is unique to Scientology. But it's something in the same thing. Mormonisms have their own type of tithing. It is a requirement to spiritual progression within the church, but it's not unique to Scientology in that aspect.
If you're not going to, no, I'm not going to platform a cult, dude. I'm not going to platform a cult and let you sit here spouting your nonsense to all my viewers because it's nonsense. You won't even talk about the fact. Well, how can you believe that shit, dude? That's just ridiculous. I'm going to use the word. Do you know what ridiculous means? It means worthy of ridicule. Somebody should have ridiculed the fuck out of L. Ron Hubbard for even suggesting such a thing. And anybody who believes it, Phaetons, brother. Phaetons. I appreciate you.
Yeah,
I really do. I hope someday you can find your way out of the cult. I'm done with you. Yeah, I'm done. Okay. You can engage with the rest of the chat.
It was a nice conversation, and I hope to have
Thanks,
it
Derek.
again.
You know what? You've taught me that I need to learn more about the religion.
Fair enough.
Yeah, I do. And now it makes me really want to know what other Scientologists think. Why?
I can give you people to follow because I follow Jenna Miscavige, which is David Miscavige, the leader of Scientology. I follow, and she was trafficked as a child. She was not allowed to leave. I think she even grew up on the boats. What's the boats called? Yeah, she wasn't allowed to. So that's child trafficking in my book. So any religion who forces a child to work for free and barely gets an education, and then if she decides to afterwards protest about it and say, "Hey, this is what happened to me. I think I was improperly treated," is then called a oppressive person because now she's questioning and she's persecuting people, I think is freaking audacious. It's wild. It's wild, and that's just one of the reasons I think that this religion is really sick. And the fact that they infiltrated the government, and they're now infiltrating the government again as we speak. Because I've recently been doing, videos about how they got into Turning Point USA. They're into QAnon. I mean, conspiratorial it sounds, but I tell you what, all the connections are there. It's absolutely true. This religion is known and practices infiltration. That's just part of what they do.
It's crazy. They have eyes. They've got this compound out in the desert where they have all their holy religious texts or whatever, and they have eyes in the desert that they've written. So the God or it sounds like I'm making it up. Let me show you an image.
And I'm going to find Jenna Miscavige's.
And this, is she the one who's missing?
No, but what's her name? Shoot, where is Susie? No,
Susan. They mentioned in the chat.
Shelley Miscavige. That's the one who, the famous actress who also left. Rhea. What's her name? Damn it! Oh, I see it.
Yeah, there you go.
Oh. Is that for Xenu? Is that like a?
I think that's for Xenu.
Come get us.
Again, I'd have to. It's been
diamond nipples.
It does really. But it's been a day or three since I've it's been so long. I don't really know the why they put that there, to be honest. Is it they're thinking their God's looking up or whatever? I want to tell you a story. Here in our neighborhood, we were driving along. We saw an eye in somebody's yard. And if you were looking up at it, it's actually got a rock in the center of it, and it's outlined like an eyeball. And we're like, oh, wow, those guys may be Scientologists. And then we saw a couple more in the same kind of neighborhood. And you know how Scientologists and J-Dubs are. They tend to gather in the same place. And we're like, oh, there's kind of a group of them here. Oh, no. And then I started looking around. You know what? The rest of the places have those too, but there's trees in those spots. They're not eyes. That used to be a tree. When this complex was built, there was a tree there. That tree has subsequently died or been removed, and they just put a rock there or a plant there. But the outline that they had put for the trees was shaped like an eye. It's just an oval. So if you're some kind of weird paranoid dude like me, you're like, oh no, I'm surrounded by Scientologists.
Oh, dear Lord.
Yeah.
I mean, hey, our mind can read into things if we let it, right?
Yeah.
That's what it does.
I don't get why. I mean, if they're afraid to speak of their own, I don't get why they would. Well, because at that point, it's like, you know what? We both know it's bullshit now. Now we both know it's bullshit, and you can't defend that.
Because J-Dubs kind of do the same way. Like if you ask something that's too deep for them, they'll say, we go to jdub.org and search it there.
Is it Rainbow Ashes?
It's just like, we can't answer it. You have to go here and figure that out.
Really? Huh. Rainbow Ashes at your birthday?
Yes, it is.
We have a call in queue. I did not realize this is the way the thing goes. Let's see. It says, this is Jackie. Okay, I'll tell you what, this is Jackie. I think Jackie, you know how the thing is, my friends. Yes, it's our Jackie. Hold on a second. Let me put our Jackie on it. Jackie.
Hello.
Jackie. Hey, can you tell us a J-Dub story? Is it a J-Dub? Oh, a Scientologist story. I'm ready.
I think you were talking about it earlier. The actress from the King of Queens, Leah Remini, used to be a Scientologist, and she did a documentary on Scientology, and she said that it was a very, very restrictive, oppressive cult, and if you tried to leave it, they would give you hell.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yes.
So
I watched her documentary, and that was also like one of the little cracks in my foundation that started to, like, all of this kind of was happening at the same time, and she was part of it, because I was seeing correlations. I was seeing that cult-like behavior.
Well, and I want to mention one more thing. Regardless of whether he said it's easier to start a religion or not, he was still a science fiction writer, and he still started that religion. So I don't know how. I mean, that would be like what I fear is in the future, because anything can be turned into a religion. There have been attempts for people to turn Jedi into a real religion. And
I think it is.
You know, don't understand what's wrong with human beings. Stop trying to replace old moral codes that are just hijacked human principles and just accept that you're either a good person or you're a bad person, and you're capable of doing those things without creating a damn club to support it. Because once you start setting up a hierarchy, you have the potential for abuse, no matter what you set up.
That's right.
Yep.
So common law is far better than religion.
And they're what he was talking about how Scientologists were getting attacked, and I was thinking the only time somebody goes after a Scientologist is like to get a family member out. To there are reasons they've been. Scientology is an aggressive. I don't even want to use the word cult. It's just a scam. I guess it is a cult, but
yeah,
that's the problem Germany has with it, and Australia.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I understand that. Well, anyway, I just wanted to call in and give that comment. I got to go out very shortly, so I got to get off the phone.
Right. Well, thank you, Jackie, for calling in.
Thank you for being so rational, Jackie.
Yes. Thank you for being so rational.
Bye.
Bye. We'll talk to you later. Have a good one. All right. We'll be back in just a minute. Time for a quick break. And whenever we come back, it looks like Jeff is back on the phone, I think, from yesterday. Jeff was, I believe, questioning. Jeff, we'll get back on the... Jeff is here on the line. We'll talk to Jeff here in just a minute whenever we come back. Let's do... What do you guys want to hear? Let's do ghost-scented flesh candles. Next up in the bark bin, a clergyman with a holy hustle.
It's bad this time. A chicken just won't do. But wait... You don't have a goat for your burnt offering. Oh no. The Lord's wrath is upon you.
Insignificant person whose name I don't know, you have sinned. Probably. I shall smite thee.
What do you do? You're all out of goats. She left you for another man.
Fear not, my wayward child. Introducing Father Flanagan's line of goat-scented flesh candles.
No goat? No problem. Just light one of these bad boys and let the sweet, savory scent of burning built flesh rise up to the heavens.
Is that goat?
It's easy, it's fast, and deluxe models even have patented technology that produces a goat screaming sound as the wick burns.
Father Flanagan's line of goat-scented candles. Save a goat, burn a candle.
Father Flanagan's line of goat-scented flesh candles are part of our You Do You Jew interfaith outreach program.
When you sinned and need to atone, light a candle and avoid the stone. When the Lord requires that pungent smell, light a candle or you're going to hell.
If you're in it, you would understand that it's more nuanced than that. Nah, bitch. Oh.
We're back. I didn't want to interrupt you. To tell you, we were back. I'm glad you were done picking your nose, though. That was good. Oh, was that me? Anyway, we have somebody in the chat I don't recognize. Captain Howden. Good morning, Captain Howden. God does love the smell of burning flesh. That is fantastic. Indeed, he does. I've made a series of videos on that very... Oh, Derek. I forgot about Derek. Come on, Derek. Let's get Derek up here and see what Derek has to say. Hello, Derek. Can you hear me? Hello.
Was it the last caller?
Derek or Jeff? Jeff. I'm sorry, Jeff.
Yeah. Hey, what's going on?
Sorry, Jeff. Man, I'm a bad person. How's it going today, Jeff?
Not bad. And I heard you guys during the little music break. You didn't tell me to fuck off yesterday.
Oh, okay. Well, I just couldn't remember. That's awesome.
Ease your tension. No, I'm the one that came on and chastised you a little bit about tearing people.
Oh, that's right. I remember now. Okay, cool. Yeah. That's good. Now I got to fix the thing because I didn't know. It's a new system. I'm just now learning it. Well, thank you for letting me know that people on hold can hear what's going on in back here. I thought you could hear the show.
Yeah, I was sitting here thinking, I hope they don't say anything, they don't want somebody else to hear.
Yeah,
you crazy?
No. Yeah, no.
I don't want
none
to
of
that way.
No, well, just about the Scientologist call.
I just wanted to come on real quick and just to acknowledge that we just saw a unicorn by having that guy call in and talk to you publicly. I've done a little bit of research on Scientology, and I believe, I can't remember the name in chat, mentioned that they are not supposed to do that, that they'll get interrogated for that. If somebody finds out that they did that, they'll be in big trouble.
Yeah.
And I also wanted to ask for permission, since that was such a rare thing, to maybe use some clips from your video from this for a video that I want to put together on Scientology.
Absolutely. I love it.
Yeah, I mean, that's basically all I wanted. I just wanted to get permission. I don't want to clip somebody else's stream, without their permission.
I appreciate you. Thank you very much. That's very respectful. Thank you, Jeff. Go for it.
No problem. Well, that's really all I had to say.
Awesome. Well, if you get something worked up on the Scientologist, feel free to shoot me a link.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll probably do that. That's a lot. Most of my content is just about researching scripture, but I'm not that serious a person, and it's just been very serious. So I wanted to do something fun, which I know there are parts of Scientology that are not funny, but to me, the entire thing in general is like a cartoon. So I do want to do something maybe a little more lighthearted, although I know that there's actually some real darkness there too.
Yeah, I feel you trying.
Yeah, the whole suppressive people and the way that they're allowed to be harassed, like it's encouraged, and they'll pay people to harass and like physically harass and take pictures and do all kinds of creepy things like that, digging in people's trash.
Yeah, it's amazing. And you guys,
Leah Remini, she'll tell you.
Was it he that brought up, Australia, like trying to ban the religion? Or how bad does a cult have to be to get that sort of attention?
An entire country.
For a country's government to step on that freedom of religion line specifically for them, it's got to be pretty bad.
2 countries, Germany and Australia. And here's the real deal. These aren't authoritarian nations. These aren't censorship nations. These are nations who are doing this to protect their people from a predatory cult.
Right. And Australia is very, very liberal from my understanding. So, how bad do you have to be?
True. Very true. Well, thank you for that, Jeff. I appreciate that.
All right. I'm going to watch the rest of the stream.
Awesome. Thank you. All right. That was very cool. Barthelmus is here. B squared. Good morning, B squared. I don't recognize your name. You may be a newbie. Welcome to the damnation. It says, no, just believing in things based solely on faith. Let me come back up. I saw you kind of kicked in the door with something. Oh, Shania. I can do this. Shanley's Abisberg. Shanty. Oh, it's really small. I'm sorry. Shanty. I'm going to call you Shanty. Good morning, Shanty. Shanty's. Sorry. It's tiny on my screen. It says, to be an atheist is just as silly as being religious. You are denying the absolute, denying the divine forces. I mean, Ryan?
To be an atheist is silly as being what?
As being religious. We're denying divine forces. My problem is they just can't prove those divine forces. I mean, they could only do that. They just want me to believe in something without being able to prove it to me. I don't know, though. Faisal was very compelling. I almost became a Muslim because all those Muslims who could memorize the Quran.
A revert. I think you're called a revert.
Would I be a revert?
You become a Muslim. Mm-hmm. If you weren't like born into it and you...
Really?
Yeah, you're a revert because that's what you should have been.
Oh!
That's some of that like culty language where they get you, where you're like, oh, this is what I should have been. I'm a revert. I wasn't the original, the OG thing.
That's right. Okay, I get you. You should have been when you hatched from the egg. Okay, all right. So Zarkraz, I think, is trying to help me out here. Ooh, Mel is here. Good morning, Mel. Hello from Poland. First time joining your stream. How are you doing? So far, so good. We're doing better now that you're here, Mel. And what's my chat's jumping. And what's the topic of today's discussion? Well, it was kind of ask an atheist if they had a question. We're just kind of it's a morning show. We have a good time, and we've recently added a phone line for those who want to call. We'll be taking calls for about 5 more minutes, and we've only got about 10 more minutes left on the show. So otherwise, it's, whatever you think. What are you, Mel? Are you a theist, an atheist, straight, gay, hook us up, man. Let me know.
What's your flavor?
What's your flavor?
I mean, the whole Scientology thing, I'm trying to learn as much as I can, but I just don't know it like the back of my hand when it comes to Christianity, because I already had a basis of understanding with Christianity. Scientology is just a whole new thing. And what I get is usually like clips, you know, like shorts of people I follow. But what I see about it, it's, you know, something I would like to learn more, but I do not understand how you could join it thinking that it's science-y. That's what I thought it was.
Me too,
and I like, looked into it for like a hot minute and I was like, okay, this is not science-y.
Yeah.
You think I've been here for how many, whatever years, and I need to fix the issues from before? And if I don't fix those issues, I can't level up.
There were ancient aliens that were killed on this planet by Xenu, and their spirits have inhabited you. And you have to listen to this tape in order to get that feat. And I think it's called a feat, by the way. I want to mention that I see another new face in the chat over there. It's S. Smith. Good morning, S. Smith. Says S. Smith's like, what the fuck? The Muslims don't understand the Quran. I believe that to be true in a great percentage of them. I agree. I would agree with you. A great percentage of Muslims don't understand the Quran. By that token, a great many Christians don't know the Bible. I mean, it's just, they just know the little bits their pastor teaches them, or the little sayings or little arguments they've heard, and they don't really know the Bible.
No,
So
I really don't think that there's many religions that have believers in them that know that much. I doubt that there's a shit ton of like people who are in Judaism or whatever, practice Judaism, that know the whole history. I'm sure there are. I know there are, actually, factually, but who are like hardcore believers.
Right. Chris S8X in the chat says, by that token, a great many atheists don't know science. As if science was the religion of atheists. That's just ridiculous. All right, man. I know it's hard for you to understand. The only thing an atheist does is not believe in your God, because you have not been able to prove. That's it. Science, some people become atheists because they learn science. They look at the universe, they go, oh shit, that can't be right. And they go, maybe atheism is for me. But atheism, that's the relationship. It's not like, Ryan, are you a scientist? Do you have to be a scientist to be an atheist? The more science you know, the better atheist you are. It doesn't work that way.
No, you might be able to have better arguments. Absolutely. Like, I would feel more comfortable like going up against apologist arguments if I knew the science is better. But that's all it would do for me. I don't feel like I need to know science to know that. I don't think there's anything. There's nothing out there.
If anything, it would reinforce it. Absolutely. Yeah. Zane Campbell's in the chat says Catholics know the most. You know, some Catholics, I would almost kind of think they might, but to ask a Catholic, and it's a common joke among comedians, is that they don't actually read the Bible at all. They go to the church to have the Bible read to them. But I don't know, you know, Catholic, maybe the devout Catholics.
I don't know that. And I mean, there's a lot of Catholic schools and they read and they memorize and, you know, do all that stuff. But again, application contextually, do they really know what they're reading?
Whosoever, good morning, whosoever. Thank you for joining us. Whosoever says the fool has said in his heart, there is no God. And my thinking, brother, is if the fool can get it, why can't you? If the fool can understand that there's no God, how come you ain't figured it out? And really, it's funny that I think it's the Bible that says that quote. Our science books kind of almost say that if you, pretty much they do now, it's a consensus that if you believe in your stuff, you're more likely to be a fool.
Easier to fool.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Scientifically, if you're a theist, if you're a Christian, you're more likely to be fooled or tricked. Go look it up yourself. Don't believe me.
The fanciful.
Yeah, I'm just a jackass on the internet. Don't believe me at all.
I've read the studies.
Yeah, that's true. Why? Because Weed Bro is here. Good morning. I haven't said hi to you at all, I don't think. Stuffed Beagle, thank you for joining us. Says, can you share your thoughts on pantheism, please? You know, Pantheism
everything
is
God. Is that
no,
like everything is part of one thing?
I don't. Pantheism, I think, is believing in multiple gods. Maybe.
I thought that was polytheism.
Well, I guess it would be. What is pantheism? Let's look at that up. Let's find out.
Yeah, God and the universe are identical, with all reality considered a divine, interconnected, and non-personal unity. I explained it very terribly.
Yeah,
that's what the AI overview is.
The universe is God. It sounds very Babylon 5, Delenn to me. If you haven't seen that yet, Ryan, but you hopefully you will one of these days. It's good stuff. Their whole deal, their whole religion is based on the notion that the universe is conscious. The universe is God. It doesn't judge, it doesn't think, it doesn't do it. But we as conscious people arise, and we are the universe studying itself. If the universe had a brain, it would be us, and we are studying the universe. And that's kind of the thing. I think it's a kind of a cute little notion. It's cute.
It's cute. It's so cute.
Yeah, it's sweet. I don't see anybody getting killed over it. Yeah. You know, yeah.
Like me, like I kind of feel like, I mean, what's a god? The earth is my God. It created me.
Hashtag truth.
I'm made of the earth.
That's right.
You know what I mean? Like I don't believe that, but I could say that. Why not? Why couldn't that be? I think I would at least receive, at least if I put work into it. Like I'd get stuff out of it. Like if I planted, I'd get something out of it. There at least be that kind of connection.
Stuffed Beagle reiterates pantheism is not a religion and has no defined definition beyond what Miss Ryan, I'm sure, gave us. And, you know, I think, so basically it's kind of like asking me what I think of origami. Or, you know, something that if it's we're not comparing the same things. These are not oranges and oranges, apples and oranges. You know, this is like jet planes. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. One of them just kind of seems cool. The idea that the universe, we are the universe. I even like that idea. You know, this notion, though, that the universe gives a shit what I do with my penis and how many times I touch it or some business. That's where I draw the line. Universe, you need to back the fuck off, right? But
like manifest destiny type stuff.
Yeah. Anyway, so that's kind of my thinking. You know, we've had a lot of new people in the chat. I guess the phone lines are kind of starting to work. I want to say thank you to all the people. It's time for us to start wrapping it up and reading the super chats. I think it was a slow day in the super chats. That's okay. It may have happened. I didn't even notice it because it was just crazy. I was just disagreeing with a theist of a kind. I didn't even know how to see. I've got little different labels that I've made. So like, let's do here. Jeff is not an atheist, but if he were, I could just hit that button. Or if Jeff were a Christian, or if Jeff were a Muslim, or if Jeff were whatever. I didn't know what to make Jeff. Are they theists? Is a Scientologist a theist? Not sure. Skeptical disciple, interesting, good, curious. Do either of you believe in creation, setting religious explanations aside? I believe in whatever, nothing outside of the scientific explanation of the Big Bang and that business. You know, we could go into that. That's complicated, but no religious business. No.
Yeah, I'm not. If he asked if we believe in creation, no, I don't believe in any kind of like creation.
Yeah. Ooh, you are Victoria. You know, it's so wonderful. All of you people are showing up now. We're about to wrap up the show. We start at Tuesday through Friday at 9 a.m. Eastern. So let me check here and see if we got any super chats. No, we do not. That's okay. Actually, we do. We got $3.33. Says, I'll skip the question, take my money. I'm sorry, Hank. I didn't read that earlier. And we also had Left-Handed Jedi has been a bronze level member. Now you're just showing off your bronze little huevos there. For 14 months. Says, I'll say it, Muhammad was a sick dude. Yeah, that's kind of, I'm going to have to hash that out and figure out how to address those kinds of things. Anyway, Ryan, thank you very much. Tomorrow for Sci-Fi Friday, we're going to be reviewing the movie. Ryan knows what it is.
Evolution, right?
Evolution, yes. Evolution, a comedy from 2001. Check that out, my friends. And we'll also be discussing Ryan's adventures in Deep Space Nine. Ryan, before you go, can you tell me where you're at? Give me an update on where you're at in Deep Space Nine.
The last episode I watched, Odo got poisoned by his own people and turned into a human.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. Okay, cool. Gotcha. All right. That's cool. That tells us where you're at. Very good. We'll talk about that tomorrow. Donald Southern.
For, Ember up next.
Yes. Stay tuned for Ember next. Up next. Thank you all. I saw the Donald Sutherland. Anyway, bye. We'll see you tomorrow, Miss Ryan. All right, everyone. Thank you all for joining us today. I very much appreciate you. We had a full stable. Call us tomorrow. We'll be back and we'll do the thing at the place with the stuff for the people. You guys are the people. Sin safely, my friends. Take care.
Got a house that smells like old cheese and shame. Father Flanagan's flesh candles change the game. Goat-scented thrills for your soul's delight. Light it up, baby, make your room right. When you've sinned and need to atone, light a candle and avoid the stone. Smell the goat in a holy zone. Father Flanagan, here to set the tone. Confession booths, busy, no need to stress. Light a candle and forget your mess. Gross odors vanish like sins in the wind. With each wick, guess who's your new best friend? When you've sinned and need to atone, light a candle and avoid the stone. Smell the goat in a holy zone. Father Flanagan, here to set the tone. Lambs and calves may have their day, but goat's the scent that leads the way. Clean your slate with a sniff so pure. Father Flanagan's got the cure. Turn your home into a saintly space. With every whiff, find